Good morning. Barely. By 14 minutes. We are back. It'll be a normal length session today. Sorry for the short one yesterday. Although I think I'm actually going to keep my webcam off because, kind of embarrassing. I have like a bloody runny nose, and I kind of find myself accidentally picking at it a lot. That's probably why it's bloody. Whoops. I think I got like a scab on my inside of my nostril that really irritated. Well, sometimes I'll have like a random nosebleed, or it's just weird. So I don't want to deal with that. What needs work done? Well, right now, of course, because I'm looking at it, all of the science machines are running. I don't know. Wait, there was a mod that I wanted to add, and I don't know if actually it got added or not. I should talk more. There's a mod that makes the icons bigger on bigger structures. I don't think it's state enabled. Damn it. They don't look very big. Does that look big? It looks normal size. Or wait, is it bigger? Yeah, okay, they're scaled. So the bigger the building, the bigger the icon. So you don't have to, like, look through the entire damn sprite to try to find the little symbol. Cool. And of course, I looked away, so the science turned off. Like, I swear, I was messing with combinators a little bit. Just to, well, a combinator. Just to see, using a decider combinator, input both red and green, and then green greater than 0, output input count, so I can see what our supply is of just the materials that we need for science. And I've noticed that we are very, very low on the casein, which is related to Corlex milk. So I guess I gotta go check on that, see what's wrong, because I know we have a ton of Corlex milk. At least we did the last time I looked at it. We do. I'm trying to remember where. It was not too far away from where the milking happened. Right here, I think? Yeah, there's tons of casein. 6,000. Is that how you say the word casein? Casein? Okay, so there just aren't any in the logistics network then. I don't know if I'm requesting enough stuff to bring it here, but Talkmore's mad at me. He wants me to build it in a different place or something, like in a brick. We still seem to be mostly out of moss. I saw that the Moss Mark IIs got used at one of the places. I forget where now, but one of them is upgraded. There. Well, not all upgraded, but it's beginning to get upgraded. Ooh-wee. Yeah, maybe I'll start off today by just making a small moss farm of my own that uses blackjack and hookers and doesn't care about the Moss Mark IIs because they take forever to generate, and I just instead use the Moss level 3 spell, whatever it's called, you know? How do you play this game? We're gonna do some math. Find out. Okay, so we're gonna do the 24x moss recipe. Gonna require some stuff. First I have to put the mosses inside the moss, otherwise it lies to me about the performance numbers. Alright, so just level 1 modules, because they're easy to get, and the level 3 thing. These aren't actually here, are they? Wanting to put them here, but they're not there. I swear I put the... Yeah, I put Test World helpers in here, but I updated the book instead of my own. Y'all have any of that moss? Why is this thing not getting... Like, normally it just, like, puts them there right away. Maybe I need to select the entity differently. Like from here. There's no way that the level 3 spell does 0.02 a second. Clearly not getting the benefit of the moss. Oh, wait, maybe you have to use level 2 moss to be able to do the level 3 thing? Maybe I'm taking crazy pills? There, that one got the moss. Why, what the hell? Why did that one get the moss? Oh, God, you have to paste one with the theory of them. Got it. Okay. That was really stupid. Okay, so let's compare. Talkmore is not willing to let me change his base, so... set in his ways. He had a plan. Just because I don't understand something doesn't mean it's wrong. Or something. So he's planning on sticking with level... the level 2, like, moss spell. I don't know why I'm calling it a spell, but... and then using the tier 2 version of the moss. I want to see which one does more production. Okay, so over the course of 1 hour, using the level 2, or second version, with the better moss modules, we'll get 1395. If we instead just don't do any of that and feed it some coarse fraction, which comes from the dirt. We have a lot of dirt, I'm pretty sure. Only 10,000 actual coarse fraction, but coarse fraction is, I swear it comes from something easy. Yeah, you just take soil and do stuff to it. Anyway. The answer, though, is that I'm right, and he's wrong. Just using the third spell or third whatever thing and not having any upgraded modules is just better than upgrading all of them. Takes no real effort. But why not both? There's already a brick with that science back, just needs a couple of inputs sorted out. Inputs like what? Also, it's 1440. What a near coincidence. It's a 93% improvement. Use better modules. Well, do you want me to work on... I mean, I'm kind of working on the science brick by working on moss. Because moss... Every time I turn around and I look at the science labs, which I just stand next to, moss is insufficient supply. Each cycle they need 400 and they never seem to have enough. Yes? What are you doing with the wastewater? Filling in a lake? You're working towards Moss Mark 2? We already have Moss Mark 2. I thought we already had some. We definitely do. You just search for moss, and then you go to the one of the bigger ones. I think it's called... Right there. Look at all those moss Mark 2s. In the top row of that block. We already have them. It's okay, I get distracted all the time. I still think that it's worth working on moss because we need to now use the thing. Alright, what do I need to do? I need to delete some of this world. It's too big. Okay. That doesn't take it out of the folder, does it? Lets me, it's a shortcut. Right? Just double checking. I don't want to break the book. I want to have a tool belt that just like does all the things I usually do so I don't have to go through the book every time. Because the book is got multiple levels to it. There. So now I've got 5 links to just do that one. And then if I go to the 5th one and I do alternate row, same thing, and then I can just go to that taskbar instead of having to go through the book. Be a lot faster. For all the times that I actually build train bricks. Yeah, that's a little bit faster to set up a train brick. By far. From scratch. Alright, where's my moss thing go? Alright, I'm gonna plan on not having modules get upgraded and just do the better recipe. And I guess that means we start in Factory Planner. Which I'm getting slightly less uncomfortable with. I wouldn't say I'm comfortable, but it kind of makes more sense to me now. "400 moss farms." That's incorrect. That's pre-module. So how many can we... actually, that works out kind of almost perfect. To provide 1 moss output with the 3rd recipe requires 0.83 and 0.2. If I did a sushi belt with just 2 materials, even though it's silly, because it's just 2 materials, then I could actually have a balanced, like a different balanced mix on the on both lanes instead of just having 50-50. Plus it would give me an excuse to make a sushi belt, and I like sushi belts. Now, in the unfortunate event that we end up getting increased module quality, will it break all of my math? We would need 19.4 machines instead of 37.5. We would suddenly be producing 93% more. Same math I had earlier. But I feel like if I just leave an extra belt, I can set up some sort of a global alert for when that happens, when their module R2s are arrived. Yeah, I've used the matrix before. It seems to always default to traditional. Whenever I notice a recipe that creates its own byproduct, then I use it now. Okay, well, we only need a few. 37.5, it's not very many. Probably easiest to do. I like things that are multiples of 2. I might just do 40. Wonder if you can actually save space overall by, like, reorganizing their inputs and outputs at all. That's funny. I can't see the input on this side at all. It's covered by the moss. It's funny. This would be moss on one side, carbon dioxide on the other. Another way to do it would be to arrange it so that all 4 carbon dioxides are on the inside. I'll take these modules out so I can see it.
It's over 9,000!
So I think the only advantage to doing this is that you keep the fluids on one side away from the inputs and outputs. So the fluids are irrelevant to your adjacency, I guess, but you're not really saving any space. You still end up having to do belts on the other side. Even if you did the standard Pyanodon belt weave thing, get an extra axis. Bet you never saw something this cool. I should do it on the other side so you can actually see it, though. Give it tall buildings. That belt wave doesn't actually work, does it? Never mind. Not as cool as I thought. Thanatos, thank you for your sub. It's early in the morning. I don't know what to tell you. Didn't have enough coffee. But you can, let's just start that over. Standard access. You do this. Go max underground belt. We do have long-handed inserters. They can access something out there. That can also go underground. If you wanted to, you don't have to go max underground. You could leave a little bit of extra. So that when it comes in from the other side, there's an opening here for both machines. So altogether you've now got access to 3 rows. But wait, there's more. That can go underground. 4th row. Can come in and it can come in and go all the way up to here. So they both get access to a 4th belt. And while they're doing that, you can get access to the 6th and the 7th belt. Oh, that is silly. Did I mess it up this time? I think this one is legit though. Like, of course you could always just access these a little bit earlier. Actually, are you even reaching the machine? You're not. These ones don't reach the machine. Yeah, I was thinking maybe about going underground side. It's not necessary to get this much access. I'm just trying to decide if it makes sense to like sacrifice one whole side of the machine, and then can you do everything on? I'm worried not about this recipe at all. I'm worried about the future of it. Like, if we are still playing in 1,000 hours, and I'm sitting down trying to use the Moss Farm Mark IV with the 17th Moss recipe, that has all these ingredients and whatever. Like, Hawkmore has convinced me that I'll have to refactor it every single time, and that sounds so not fun to me. I don't think that you should have to redo everything every time you get a tech or get an upgrade. I'm going to employ the keep it simple salesman approach. That is the wrong button. So keep it simple salesman says, just do the simple thing. Don't make it complicated. Making it complicated is dumb when you know that the simple thing is good and works. That's the fluids handled. Done. Now we can do them internal and then not have access to the lanes at all. Or we can leave a little bit of space. And there is usable, like, land here or whatever. Like, both machines can easily grab off of a belt going by with a long-handed inserter. They can easily grab from two belts going by. With the pipes there. And also run electrical poles. Probably do the electrical poles. Just like that then. But wait, there's more! If you did invert the fluids... then you have an opportunity to do something... silly. They're set up like this, but because they're sequenced like together, you would do one guy grabbing from that. Bum. Isn't it just like this, actually? This guy's grabbing from a belt that no one else is going to get access to, because it's only visible here, right here, and here. So both machines are going to get access to a belt. This guy takes care of this belt. This guy takes care of this belt. Honestly, I mean, I bet the most complicated, I'm just gonna look it up. The most complicated recipe doesn't even take this many inputs. Moss is not gonna be a problem entity, I think. $40 moss turd recipe. Let's just find the biggest non-turd. 32 moss. And pretend we're using the Moss Farm Mark IV. Which we will never get. Holy crap, it has so many module slots. Let's actually find a Moss Mark IV. Wow. Moss Farm Mark IV with all Mark IV mosses makes 12.8 moss per second. Per second. It's pretty quick. And yet, its inputs are mostly liquid, so that part's easy. And altogether, it only needs 18 items a second. And by that time, we'll have stacking from loaders or from whatever, like... I think worrying about this kind of stuff is kind of pointless. So yeah, again, back to keep it simple, salesman. Keep the fluids facing one way or the other, whatever. I actually kind of like the fluids on the outside, maybe. And a completely non-disturbed inner, like, corridor for the items that they need. Easier for me to think in pairs when it's that way, for some reason. Okay, well, we only have 2 inputs. I want to test what kind of throughput I'll need for the Mark II mosses doing it, though. So I'm going to build a build that is going to have 4 rows of 10. There's 10. We're almost there. 25% complete. And I'm not sure if I should let them share their lanes or not. This is like one option, is like you do this twice, and there's your 40 things. You could even let these fluids share. That would require swapping some of the rows to make that work. Basically, whenever the 2 modules, the two pieces come together, you have to invert it. But there's this way, but keep it simple salesman is even simpler than that. It's just don't even do that. Easiest way to guarantee that you have all of the belt lanes that you'll ever need ever is to just make these belts for this row only, and then just have extra belt rows for the other rows, the other ones too. If I'm gonna do 4 rows, I'll just do 4 rows. Maybe I'll still show the pipes, but even then, who cares? You don't have to. Not like we are out of space in the bricks. All right, so altogether in one row, we're looking at 3.33 stone and 0.83 course fraction. I seriously think every single individual machine can just get away with a single mechanical inserter. So pathetic. Well, if I just dedicate one lane to the input products and one lane to the output products, and then do like a... Nah, it's too complicated. I'll just use one more belt. I mean, I have power. At this point, it's not really worth making it all squiggly. Keep it simple, right? Just use a long-headed inserter. Not like they're hard to make. They need what again? Crap. Forgot. Stone and coarse fraction. Did we somehow end up with a setting turned on that makes our loaders bigger? That loader looks weird. Embiggened assemblers? No. Okay. Why does it look weird? Maybe it's the moss being so big or something. Like the motor looks bigger than the chest. Okay. I probably should try to like make a self-sufficient system for muddy sludge and carbon dioxide so it doesn't have to import from trains. But it'd be a lot faster to just pretend like it's someone else's byproduct that I'm getting for free. If you had 2 jaw crushers breaking bricks. Hear me out here, because there is some logic to this. Breaking bricks for the sake of breaking bricks is stupid if you made the bricks from sand, from stone. But what if you didn't? What if you made it from ash? What if you did this? You took 25 ash and made rich clay by mixing it with water. And then you use the rich clay mixed with sand to make bricks. And then you crush these bricks. Because I think I'm going to end up with coarse fraction from sand. Isn't sand related to coarse fraction? Yeah. You get sand? Okay, so this is interesting. So we take... You are going to eat soil, which means I'm going to get soil from a... Obviously from a soil extractor. Soil per second, you need 6. I need to head back to Factory Planner and stop just going down this rabbit hole of trying to figure it out myself. There's something there though, I think. Alright, so if we do this... we will get our course fraction from the recipe I'm looking at. You do get 10 course fraction if you do something with gravel, but then I'm going to deal with tailings, dust, tar, and tailings. And how do you know what to pick here? Don't we have biomass as a byproduct? We do. So we could consume the biomass to make some. I don't really understand what they mean by choose unrestricted. Like, what are they trying to tell me? Choose one unrestricted item in total. The left side lists the constrained items. I have 13.5 sand per second. I am confused by this thing now. I'm just going to import the carbon dioxide. Like, I want to provide some of the resources that they need, but like, I was planning on figuring out how to make the coarse fraction. And that's about it. Everything else is a common byproduct. Alright, so I'm back to this one. Each row of 10 machines needs a total of 0.83 coarse fraction. This makes 1 coarse fraction per second if it runs at full speed. 3 soil extractors will run it at 6 out of 6.66. So 90% uptime. So we would get 90% of 1, which is 0.9, which is still more than the 0.83 that it says it needs. So yeah, that would generate enough of it. And then we would also get some other crap. Don't we have a block that does that separation already? Probably, but should, I mean, I don't know. I want to at least make it, like, take care of some of its imports. Because there's going to be space. If I just build 4 of these things in a row and then import all of the materials, it's not really building a brick, is it? Like, the sand could be useful. Part of drilling fluid types, cacolts. Alright, so I want to go back to this thing. I know for sure I'm going to, yes, use the solid separator to do this recipe. Just to double check on it. Look at it again though. I'm going to get my coarse fraction from this. And then I'm going to get the soil that I need to run it from recipe that I just said. And then I'm going to build the brick near a place with stone. And I'm just going to mine it. And I'm going to import carbon dioxide, and I can maybe make muddy sludge from whatever. Alright, I know I can get muddy sludge from this pure sand recipe. Can I add another product here to turn the sand? Is that how this thing is supposed to work? Yeah, I think I could just double wash sand. So we take the sand that we get from this, which will create some muddy water. Muddy sludge, rather. This creates some muddy sludge, which is what these want, right? Yep. And it also creates 2 pure sand a second, which we then run through another one doing pure sand. I can do the recipe here. Where was it? If I'm reading this correctly, one thing making muddy sludge is enough. I'll just throw it into an incinerator, whatever. If I need to, like, what? The factory planner is just confusing the hell out of me now. We'll export all the byproducts, and if they overflow, we burnate them. Simple. This could be a weird setup. I'm just thinking, like, what would be the easiest way to, like, get these resources sorted? So that I could control them going into the warehouse? What if instead I just build 4 sets of these near the warehouse? They're just off over here doing their sand washing thing.
It's over 9,000!
And then we just filter back the stuff that we need. I tend to favor the direct insertion method when they can, but there's always loaders. We'll just do that. Nice and straightforward in a line. I run them like this, I can run the water actually through all of the machines because they carry the water. But it's probably more symmetrical just to put them in 2 rows. My brain no work good. Nam Tech War, thank you for your Twitch Prime. Let me go look at someone else's moss build, just to see if I'm completely overcomplicating everything. And there's one called Best Moss, probably the best moss. It's made by Talkmore. It feels like an extremely large amount of sand. This is 280 machines, and I'm planning a build that does 40. How did I end up with 40? Is the goal. I think it was close to like the ratio of 1 belt. I liked it. If 40 is 1 belt, maybe the intent is actually that it's supposed to be 40 in a row, not 40 total. Maybe I'm just thinking about it wrong. 40 in a row does not fit in a brick. 20 does, though. That might be interesting. That's 40. Plenty of access to do the things. Another thing that would be kind of nice is running power right through the center. And then I don't have to run it on the edges at all. So if I can get rid of the mechanical, the powered inserters. But it's saving one electric pole. because I'd have to run 2 lines instead of 1, right? Like, I think maybe I do just want to import everything. Like, it just seems so simple to make coarse stone and whatever. Like, I'll build it near a stone deposit and then import the coarse fraction as well. I'm sure that it's being made as a byproduct from other people's builds, enough to run moss farms. Did I forget to put modules in? Yeah. I was gonna say, those numbers don't look right. Okay, now that we have actual modules. Wrong button again. .33 stone per second. 3.33 coarse fraction, but I'm using 2 separate belts for each row. So if I just perfectly split it, most I could get would be 7.5. But 13.33 divided by 2 is less than 7.5, so it's fine. Now where it would possibly break though is if somewhere I had one still with level 3 modules, didn't I? Doesn't matter if the pipes are turned wrong for the math. But yeah, so if I do let the modules automatically get upgraded, or if someone uses like an upgrade planner and just box selects them, then this will fail. And I think I should future-proof for at least the current level module that we already have. So what that means is I should just use a belt for the stone and a belt for the course fraction. And a belt for the output. That's that simple. Because even if they're all Mark II and they're doing the level 3 recipe, and we get 31 product per second, I'm using 2 separate output belts, so that is 31 per second. I just have to use both lanes. Which we're doing. Using a mechanical inserter near-handed and one that's not. I think instead of running one belt and hoping that it's good enough, we'll just do one for stone on its own and one for the course fraction. Okay, that one has all the pipes messed up, probably, so I'm going to update it on this one instead. Why does it feel like there's a missing inserter? Oh, because I didn't add it. Can't see behind buildings. Okay, this is my build. It will work without modules upgraded at all, and if they get box selected upgraded, it'll still work. That one's in the wrong spot. Dang it. I mean, I have spent an hour and a half on this, but mostly because I got confused by Factory Planner. Also, I've forgotten to actually give them their inputs. So, they're not actually running yet. Really? By one tile? That's so evil. Yeah, there's niobium pipes, but they're kind of expensive. Alright, the outer loop is connected. I do want to connect it at the very end as well. No reason to connect it across every time. I mean, I could, but there's no real benefit to it. And the center one is also not reaching by one tile. Okay, let's check the math one more time. Now that it's all actually running. We're getting 16 moss per second, which is totally fine because it's on 2 output belts, not 1. Not gonna lose any. And if we end up with better modules, it goes up by about 91%, so we get to 31 items, which is exactly 2 belts, and it'll be perfect. And, that seems fine. Now to fit into a brick. Not doing any of this dumb sand washing stuff. The only output we have is moss. No, the cement. I like symmetry. I want it to be right in the center of the brick, but I think in practice it's actually better to leave part open for other builds to have an actual buildable area. Maybe some access to pipe inputs or outputs or whatever. I want to put it as close to the top as I can. Leave the bottom open for piping. Maybe leave a little bit along the top as well. Okay, I gotta rethink just for a sec though. I have how many total belts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. What? 14? 4, 16 total belts. It's less than this thing could output, but I'm gonna build near a sand mine, so most of the belts are gonna be taken care of by that. Sounds good. Wait, why did I end up doing 4? In my head, I was still thinking that I was doing 4 blocks of 10. That's right. So this is a complete system. Like, it doesn't matter how many of these there are. The math I was doing was based on the build itself. That's 40 things, and the belts, then whatever, blah blah blah. So like, as many of these as I can fit is the correct number. Not 4. I was thinking I had to do 4. Definitely good things coming for us, I agree. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to leave it at 4. It doesn't have to be bigger. We overbuild everything. Having space between to allow for expansion if there's better recipes in the future or whatever. Having space above and below. Not having to spend all damn day building it. There's a lot of good reasons not to try to min-max it. So I ended up doing 160. Which is about half of what some of the other moss farms are. But I don't care. Where's that stone at? I mean, there are bricks built out there. Man, we've been really pushing the green bricks far out. You can press the up-down key to find the next entry. No, up-down doesn't do that for me. Just takes me back to the previous screen. Must be keyboard setting or something? I don't know. Choosing a brick. Does it even matter? I saw talk more bragging on the Pyanodons subreddit, or Discord rather, about his massive train grid. People were impressed. You know what? I'm gonna build my moss right next to the old moss. That'll work. That way, when you think moss, you'll be thinking of all of the moss. Also, if the moss comes from robots delivering and stuff, maybe it's better to keep them grouped next to each other. We're still at 38% on intermetallics. Like, I swear, the machines are running. Like, again, I look over here, they're running. How are we doing no science at all? Has someone paused, like, the delivery to that station or something? Science we're lacking isn't those machines? Oh gosh, we don't have the logistics science pack. Really? That was a solved problem. In theory. We'll just do something that I have gotten into the habit of doing quite often lately. Just rip it up, rotate it, and rebuild the whole thing. Hoover it up with a vacuum cleaner. Okay, leave the offshore plump. No grid indicator. Much ridiculous. I've done Decadecalion. We're on session 35 actually, but yes. Getting the arthropod blood? I know, right? You have to kill so many arthropods. And explain to me how sea lobsters have the same type of blood as bees. It doesn't make sense. Appear to be out of buildable items. Well, yeah, the lobsters are the zippers. That's what they're called. These things. Right here. They're like lobsters. They got little lobster fins and hands and everything, right? So those are the lobsters. These are bees, obviously, because they make honey. And they have venom. And then this thing is like some sort of freaky ass fungus. But they all give arthropod blood. So my headcanon must be different from what is really going on with these creatures or something. But I can't help but think of them that way. If it makes honey, it's a bee. Obviously. I don't even think I bothered to request red inserters. Lobsters and bees are related because they both belong to the massive invertebrate phylum. Really? Huh. I don't know. I've never seen a bee bleed. Never seen a lobster bleed either. Look at all that moss. 29,000 moss. Why are we always low on moss? In before, moss was never a problem in the first place. And everything is fine. Sometimes I think this mod is just too much. There's too much going on. Too complicated. Too many animals. Too many production chains and modules and then when I try to go to sleep at night, my brain won't stop thinking about it. Get the Tetris effect. So remember how I said I was going to just take the block that's really close to the existing moss setup? It would be nice if there was some sand, some stone nearby. Who built this? Jaleo? That's gotta be ancient. Yoink. Look, there's just conveniently stone right here. Amazing. Sometimes it feels like this mod, you just sort of... You spend time contemplating it, but you don't make any actual progress on a day-to-day basis. One thing that I have come to really greatly dislike about Blueprint Shotgun, unfortunately, is the way that it handles upgrades. Instead of like, Nanobots is the one that I remember from before. It would just sort of instantaneously play a sound and sprite and whatever, and then swap out the regular inserter for an upgraded inserter, for example. Blueprint Shotgun activates the sound for the vacuum cleaner thing every time, then drops the item on the floor as a item with an X on it. Then it'll replace the item with the one that you're supposed to have there. And that it constantly goes back and forth between both modes while you're trying to do upgrades. The only thing about Blueprint Shotgun I don't like. Otherwise I love this mod. So low on resources. Crap. There's a couple segments of rail that I didn't see. Hopefully it's not broken. Of all the warehouses around me, none of them have a resource that I can use to actually keep on building. I'm gonna have to go back to base. What is this stuff? Niobium. I can honestly say I don't think I've ever really seen this setup. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that symbol before. What in the hell is this stuff? It's creepy. Did that just say 84,000 landfill? Really, I imagined that. Now I'm not going to be able to find it again. It was near the little meat one. 84,000 landfill. Wow. Either we haven't been using it at all for a long time because everyone assumed we didn't have any, or somebody made a ridiculous production of landfill. This poor machine is full. Certainly seems to be a lot more train activity than I remember. Maybe that's just because I'm really close to this train depot. There are so many robots. Like locusts. My bitrate's gotta be getting terrible lately on Twitch. It looks wonderful to me, but I'm sure it doesn't look as much with as much clarity on Twitch. Alright, nice. The things that weren't running are all running now. Means we have science. That means we'll finally get ahead of 38%. It's only taken 2 whole sessions. This is a absolutely ridiculous amount of underground belt. 5 stacks of underground belt? Wow. I almost don't recognize the base anymore without the old landmarks of the former mall. Everything to the north is just confusing to me now. Like, it doesn't orient me at all. I think this is it? Yeah, this is the moss. Okay. How many actual train depots are there? I remember there being 2. There was one, this is the original one, and then another one was added down here. Are we still on 2, or is there another one now? There's usually a spot where you can connect. Right there. There it is. Okay, I gotta remember to actually rehook up this tree farm stuff properly. I can't just disconnect it. Alright, so this part was also rotated. Crap. The splitter's facing that way, though. That's why I think it is supposed to be the other way. Well, I could just look at what the stuff does and figure it out. Just hook up the water. Anyway, how? Doesn't matter. Maybe it does matter. Is someone doing like a really big build or something? My game's actually lagging a little bit for the first time. Like, out of all the time we've played, 203 hours, like I've never really felt like the game's ever struggled to perform at any point. Pretty sure that was there. So if I were to cut this, which I'm not going to, but if I were to cut it and rotate it once, what makes sense? Right there-ish? Kind of, almost, but... Or maybe no, it's this way. Yeah, it's there for sure. Okay, so... How do we make these two look the same? Okay, and then this thing was going over here. It's got to be moss input. The other one? This was the line that was leaving and just going up into the tree farm. These are seedlings after all. think that's it. How goes the new moss building? I have no items left to actually help build, apparently. Yeah, look, every now and then I'm getting down to 50. Like, not just 59 on this for a second, but we're actually getting throttled to 50 for some reason. I can feel the lag. It's weird. I don't like it. I think there's something spiking. Look at that, we're down to 48, and then it goes away. Something specific. Sorry there's all this crap on the screen, but if any of these mods pop up temporarily... Whoa, did I just see one that was 3.4? 3.4? Most are like 0.002, but I think I saw one that was 3. This UI is really bad. It's so impossible to read. Well, I don't know if you guys saw anything useful there, but I can't stand seeing that while I'm trying to do this. $72 stone per second. And I needed... yeah, somewhere around there. Probably still import some sand. I've got 4 primary belts and 4 primary rows, so one row to each. Wow, it is extremely laggy. What is happening? Did I miss one? Crap, I did. Alright, let me finish. I just want to finish doing this so that I don't forget that I was doing it. And then I'll pay more attention to why the game is actually lagging for the first time ever. Quite awfully. For me, at least. I know it's probably not always perfect for you guys. Alright, now I need the other liquid, which was muddy sludge. Pretty straightforward. Hey, that one looks colored, but the carbon dioxide, it looks like there's something wrong with it. Maybe that's just the color it always is. Yeah, I guess so. Okay, I just had to hook up coarse fraction. The actual amount we were using relative to sand was very, very low, so I probably only need like one belt out. We'll do two. Just for... If it keeps lagging like this, we're gonna have to like rehost or something. This is awful. I sent it down the output product line. Crap. Oh man. I blame the lag. It's confusing me. Alright. I think I did everything that I needed to do before I can clear my working memory. I do need to... well, no, I got one more thing. I gotta clear out the broken belt because I put wrong stuff down one of them. I've never noticed script updating like that before. I wonder what... was somebody doing something specific, or was a new mod causing problems that it hadn't caused before? At best, we are getting, I think, like almost a full belt from each, weren't we? $13.13, but that's on 2 belts, so it has to be fully upgraded to Mark II before we get 2 full belts. So I think I'm just gonna run all 8 in and hope that we eventually upgrade it. It was so brutal today. Wow. Literally in 204 hours, it's never been like this for me. Not once. I hate how belts can overrun loaders like that. Really, really unfortunate interaction. And I get that it's not the Factorio dev's fault because it's a mod, but like it's really egregious when. Let me give you an example. This is so awful. Say you've got like 4 chests in a row on a bus. And then you do loaders into them. I mean, people do that, right? You've got inline storage, right? It's pretty great. But then when you're working on the bus, and you're like, trying to get a belt somewhere, and you accidentally do this, and you think you're aiming at the right spot, and then you suddenly press the R key to make the belt go... whoop! Oops. I missed. Let me try harder. We do it on accident. Boom. Just instantly demolishes the loaders. Like, no warning, nothing. Just, it's such a weird interaction. Alright, so would rehosting help, or should we spend some more time looking at the script update thing and trying to understand what it's saying? Because all I see is really tiny numbers that I can't really read because there's no backdrop and there's no shader, like no not shader. What is it called? No stroke effect around the text, so it's just like impossible to read. Enable grid in the F5 menu? I unbound the F5 key. What's the name of the menu called? Is it the basic debug? Oh my god! Sure, okay, everyone have a seizure. Alright, I'm gonna leave that up while I go to the bathroom real quick. Okay, did you figure it out? A good chord? What do you mean? Like, look at the debug menu? What if we did this? I have a maybe better idea. We go into the test world and we use not coal. There's an entity called asphalt. Black is black. That's easy. A lot easier. So my computer's still sleeping for 8 milliseconds out of every 16 milliseconds, which is like half of the time. But I'm noticing that like weird UPS throttling where it's trying to do 60, but it can't, so then it jumps down to 50, and it has never done that before. I feel like it's not just that we've gotten bigger, we've been getting bigger every day. It would have been more gradual. I think that maybe there's a mod that acting up. Now because I'm paying such close attention to the numbers, no one will be doing anything in the game. They'll just be like waiting. So nothing will trigger the mod to update. And it'll hide from us. My nose is acting up again. I'm worried that I don't have like a injury in my nose that's got a scab or something, but like something more dangerous. Benign, non-benign, benign, whatever growth that feels like a booger scab thing or whatever, but it's actually not. Freaks me out a little. Oh, I'm curious about something here. There is a setting that I turned on. I don't know if it applies to our save. It shouldn't. Biocranes. Okay, it's not on. I'm looking up there and it's at 50 quite often. I wish that this little thing that lets you drag let you reposition the alert for drop lane. It's such a weird spot. Like it's so far away from what you're doing. Why didn't they find a way to bake it into this part or something? Well, given the fact that it's only happening for me for the first time today, I'm inclined to try like rehosting or like rebooting my computer or something. I don't think it's likely to be a consistent problem at this point. Hopefully. You don't have access to sand because there's too much Kerrigan. What do I always call stone sand? One single Kerrigan plus one sulfur equals 50 tar. I have to assume that it's better to go the condensates, light oil, heavy oil, all that stuff, than it is to just make tar. Can't void it because it's got fuel value. So if we're not using the Kerrigan, it's gonna cause problems. Nice. Olg fixed this station. Nice, nice, nice. Now that's an a butchery. Oh, you've got arthropod blood that hasn't been exported from one. Probably just because they're not fully built out or something, but... Yay, a venom. Underground belts are so much longer compared to vanilla. It really changes so much about the game. I mentioned yesterday that I've been kind of messing around puttering in vanilla to try to like clear my head after a long day of this before I immediately want to get back into it, and then but it's just really noticeable when you place underground belts. Yeah, I definitely need to import stone. If the Kerrigan hasn't been picked up already by anyone, then this station's just gonna shut down in no time. Bulk inserter at 77%. Bulk inserter is a 1x1, unlike the stack inserter. Completely out of iron. Lots of fuel. No resources to build with. I think we should stockpile more salt. These salt mines I don't think are running at all. I've walked by this place a lot since I set them up, and I don't feel like we're requesting salt actively. Well, the station's not being used by anyone else, so we might as well fill it up. Metal. Not the right kind of metal. I'm lost. I don't know where I live now. You know I can't read. Alright, I walked that far, wow. Did the moss thing get done? It is pretty much done, but I need to make sure that it actually has consistent stone supply. So I'm going to import bricks and stone and set up some logic so that if there's not a stone availability in the train grid, we will crush bricks. On the assumption that they're being made from ash and blue gas or whatever as a byproduct. Because I think we have a ton of bricks. Yeah, 460,000 bricks. We can afford to smash a few bricks. And that's just on the logistics system. That doesn't count what's in the trains. Memory usage estimate, 385 megabytes. Is that a lot? $179,000 in logistics stations, and in trains, and 460,000 in logistics. That is a lot. A lot of research to get +1 hand size on all inserters, but absolutely worth it. Incredible bonus. Maybe we can fix our lag by deleting half of our inserters. Also, our stack train things will be able to move, I think, 251 items at once. When they're trying to move ash or brick and stuff. Because I think they do benefit from +1 hand size. It just never really applies. Oof, down to 40. And again, more importantly, it's not that the game, I can feel it. I can feel the lag. You know? Just different. I thought these were 9x9. Are they 10x10? No, they're 9x9. Ah, it's not even very fast. I thought it'd be a lot faster. 10 machines is only 1 belt. I need 8 belts of stone. That's probably not worth even trying. Ugh. Tedious. Okay, well, we got backup stone now. Ugh. I'm gonna have to wrap up soon, actually. I know it's kind of early, but I am beat. Don't kill me, train. No shale oil, huh? Gets rid of 5 Kerrigan a second. And I need to get rid of a lot. 69, nice. This is a cool machine. Is this the kind that actually lets you pass fluids through? Or does it just trick you? Yeah, that looks... No, they're both steam inputs. They're all steam inputs. I can put all the steam on one on the inside and all the other stuff on the outside. Interesting. It's probably better like that. And then you can have steam going horizontally and the other one going vertically. And they're cross-connected between... Well, these ones are still closer connected, but... I see. So even when you can do the shorter connection, because they alternate... Hmm. Too much brain fog. I kind of like vanilla buildings better where they're directional instead of this whole... Sometimes you can do cool stuff with the squares that can rotate into weird positions and stuff, but it's just too much sometimes. Look at the perfectly placed power poles. It's so pretty. And wasteful. I think that it's got to be best to have one go horizontal, one go vertical, but I'm not figuring it out. Right now. Fun to play with, though. I probably don't need it, but if I don't do it, then the moss that I worked on for no reason at all, apparently, will not make any moss. And that'll make me sad. I'm falling down the rabbit hole and being distracted by more and more things that were related to my first distraction. Oh, it's only one page, no scroll. We still have the Rock and the Rock Mark II fishing block? Really? Haven't we had the Rock Mark II for like weeks? Has it just been running endlessly for no reason? If so, that's funny. Yeah. Are any of them actually running, though? And will they be useful again in the future to fish for the Rock 3.0? Maybe leaving the infrastructure intact is useful. Item ingredient shortage or sap. Oh my god. This is a recipe that has a 0.5% chance of making a Rock Mark II. And this machine has run 2,637 times. Yeah, for sure the whole block has just been running. forever. Manure bacteria. Because we're out of petri dishes? That's a silly reason. We have 195 total by 3 stations. Impressive. Ultimately, it seems like it's coming down to a number of problems. Perhaps molten glass isn't available enough, or I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna wander back to the train mall, and I think I'm gonna have to call it for today, even though it's kind of early. I'm beat. $88,000 blood. Where's my train at? Seaweed crop facilities. How many of those do we have? You can't read the darn number because of the UI. Yeah, we're still using seaweed recipe 1, but we have level 2 seaweed. And according to recipe book, we have already level 3 seaweed recipe. Doing seaweed 1. Oh, there's my train, finally. Look, we're doing this recipe. At some point, we unlocked the second one. Okay, this one makes a massive 0.382 per second, 1375 an hour, 3,436 an hour, 6,873. We could be going 5x faster on seaweed, making more petri dishes. Yeah. I didn't realize petri dishes were so important. Everything is so important. Animal brains and guts and hooves and everything. This mod is breaking my brain. We're out of moss. But we have moss. I need to find... Yes, move to the actual train bricks. Better access to the train. Supposed 115,000 moss. Oh, nice. We got the one that wait. Yeah, that's the one that lets non-bulk inserters work? The actual good one? Yes. That means that the mechanical inserter will live to see another day. 1.54 per second. He's a beast. Almost a full 5 items a second for the fast inserter. Nice. Alright, I'm gonna have to call it here, guys. I'm losing it. Getting too tired. Getting too hopefully we can fix this performance thing. I do think it's a one-off problem for the game. Okay, I'll see you guys soon.